dude, think about this. I almost want to join in on this because this is good. Why we love George Lucas. Remember, we did the Hollow Award show. And the reason I'm going to say this I'm going to do my own precursor for why we love George Lucas for the Bombadcast.
Put us back on.
Is that, I'm sorry. I'll put us back on. Yeah, sorry. Geez. I can't do everything, Andy.
I know. I'd love to do that.
So my main reason is when creating our Hollow Award show, I was trying to pull like stock footage from the 1978 Oscars, which included Star Wars for the first time.
They were nominated in a number of categories.
Yeah, which slayed in a number of categories. And they had this shot of George Lucas in the audience, and it was pretty much like George. It was like a joke, right? Maybe it was what was his name? Bob
Newhart.
Anyway, they had and George was like this. Here's my George.
And everyone else was
clapping. And George went. And so we used that clip like 17 times during our Hollow Awards. So that is my favorite part about George, is that George doesn't give a crap.
He really doesn't.
He doesn't. He's like, while you're talking and making jokes about me, I'm inventing the rest of this universe in my head.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the technology and how to do it.
During Bob so-and-so's joke, he created Jar Jar Binks, which, by the way, Bombadcast can be grateful for. So if these boys are ready, which I'm not sure they are, we will bring them in.
We're ready. We're ready. And dude, okay, so the clip you mentioned, I have not seen that one, but there's a lot of that in what you're gonna see later. Let me get my boy Jerry in real quick. Gerald, what's going on, dude?
Hey, look at everybody.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Short of the bounty. Oh man, you guys look so good. Short of the Bounty Hunter, which was a premiered, 3 hours ago or whatever.
Yes.
It's the first time we've had Hollow and Bombad on the same
Holy
screen.
cow.
I know, right?
This is it.
This is a travesty. A travesty.
This is it. And at this point, we're just gonna leave.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Hey, thank you for the
see you a little bit. We'll definitely see you a little bit for that final.
That's right. But I'm definitely excited to talk about George, because George to me is a fantastic character on his own. He's just fantastic.
Exactly. And that's the whole premise of this whole episode, is pretty much the fact that George, for some reason, is just more human than human.
He is. And before we hand it over, can we talk a little bit about how freaking close we are to hitting our goal?
It's insane. Oh my gosh. Let me see. I don't know where we're at right now. Look, I have the link right here.
1335. People in the chat. Let me tell you, you guys are amazing. Some of them have been with us since I can't do the math.
Eastern,
I'm trying to do the math. 10 hours. 10 hours.
Holy cow. Guys, go get a sandwich. Go get a sandwich or something.
Whether it's off and on or on and off, I don't care. They're still in the chat. They've been here for 10 hours. They've been adding, they've been promoting, and we just got launched up again to 1335, which gives us a math teacher. We're only
165 away.
We're only 165 away. That's why I have it.
Whoa! Count.
Now I challenge, as I hand it off to you, as I'm stepping on your time right now, I challenge you guys, get to the 1500 Bombadcast. George will help you.
Oh, we got it.
There's
a video that
we are out.
Bye, Hollow Boys. Wow. Jerry, we've had a heck of a day. Let's be real.
It's been insane.
We've had
I'm stepping all over your lines. We've had so much crazy stuff going on. We've had like so many new look at that awesome graphic,
yes.
Pete Pletzer.
Yes.
I've got a new setup, as you can see. So, it's do we like me not looking into the camera? Do you like me staring into your soul or not? Let us know. But
no.
Can you believe the turnout we've had for this and just all of this Bombad like craziness today?
It's been ridiculous. And the couple things I want to say from the beginning, Simplify Danny with the $500 donation is insane. Number one, we are beyond thankful for your generosity today. and everyone that's contributed. I've had family members. Look, I'll read some family members off because they're listening and watching right now. Chris and Beth, they donated some money, which is my step mother and my dad. So happy they donated. My Tati and my Mimi, which is my aunt and my grandmother, they donated. And my mother had a special message. She wrote, "Scotty Jero, one and only mum." That was what she wrote. I don't get it. She thought it was funny. She doesn't like the J-Ro thing. It drives her crazy. So yeah.
Doesn't like that you spell it phonetically or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's easier for a bunch of simps. But
it's only your legacy, Scotty.
Yes.
You're like taking a poodoo all over. So
some poodoos are good, especially the ones that George takes. And the only poodoos we will 100% accept in this stream is, yes, a friend of the Bombadcast. You've heard his voice before if you listen to Bombadcast, but we had to have him on for this episode because of the fact that he helped me create this video that we're going to present to you a little bit later. And he is a huge fan of George Lucas. Him and I literally will send screen recordings of just like noises George makes to each other. So without further ado, I'm bringing in the one and only Eric Cotterman. Eric, how's it going? Let me get that banner move.
Whoa. Yeah, we got that banner down for a second.
Hold on.
Yeah, we got
what's going on, E?
It's face reveal.
Yes,
you look like like Wilson from A Home Improvement. So
what's going on, Bombad people?
What's going on, E? How reporting from to be what's the place in episode 7, the rebel base called, the resistance base?
Dakar.
Yeah, it looks like you're from the back area of Dakar.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am.
Or
cool.
The back kitchen of since we're talking about George, the back kitchen of an Italian restaurant where you tell people who love the Phantom Menace you love them. So, that's what you could also look like.
Okay, so where do you think that was taking place? Okay, if you don't know what we're talking about, there's a clip of George Lucas referring to how much he loves the people that were at the Phantom Menace panel at Celebration, and he says, "Everyone not here, I love you all." And he says something along the lines of that. And y'all, my George has gotten better, by the way. I will say that. But I seem to believe it was for like a Marriott. It was a fundraiser, and he was like in like the back of a Marriott, like some sort of like, I don't know, whatever they call it, like the like one of the showcase rooms. He's like, "Well, I'm here to
It looked like a Wendy's. It looked like a Wendy's like the manager of a Wendy's restaurant or something. Like The Office. Like he was just like kicking back. He's like, yeah, my cousin owns the Wendy's, and I like to hang out with him from time to time. I'm so ready for this, guys. Just before we started in our break, like we were on the bounty hunting and stuff. I had my special edition Purist shirt come in.
Yes,
the mail.
So sick.
Oh, it's so good. It feels feels right. It just feels
I think
right.
Eric and I. Oh, Eric, what's your shirt? Okay, you have a different shirt. Do you have anything special on or no?
I have a, not so Star Wars shirt on.
Oh, okay. Do you want to share it?
Yeah. You can rip off of it, and you can say that thing you do or do not.
I did not know you had a shirt like that. For anyone that doesn't know, Eric's favorite movie is That Thing You Do, written by and directed by Tom Hanks. So
it's a
great movie. Great movie.
Great
so,
movie.
That's awesome.
My shirt is a kind of an Easter egg for later, but for anyone that hasn't bought it yet, you have to go out and get a My Guy McCallum shirt. For some reason, it's Katie's favorite shirt that I own now. She wants me to wear it more often.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And
beautiful.
It is beautiful, Jerry. You actually were the one that thought of it, and I love you for that.
I thought of this too, but I am the sole owner. No one has. I was the first person to buy this. I bought this and copy paste Ronto.
Oh yeah,
that was the toss up. Which one I was going to wear tonight? So
some Hello Greedo vibes there.
Vibes.
So
maybe
one thing I want to bring up, okay. We would not be talking about Star Wars if it wasn't for the one and only maker. Yes, today we're talking about George Lucas, GL, baby, and everything that makes him so interesting. So, to kind of kick it off, why are we all so drawn to this person? Because, a lot of things you watch and enjoy, you never really think about who created it, especially in terms of like, I don't know, like Gene Roddenberry's interesting, but I never like do Gene Roddenberry interviews. Like I don't really care that much. But there's something about George Lucas that like hyper focus on. And with our guest Eric, why are you obsessed with George Lucas? Because we all are in this particular chat, and hopefully people in the comments, they are all obsessed with George Lucas. Eric, why are you obsessed with George Lucas?
Honestly, I just think it's because like everything he accomplished is so amazing. Obviously, he didn't do it all by himself, but a large part of that credit is due to him.
Yeah.
And so when you think of somebody like that, I don't know, I don't want to use too strong of words, but he's almost like a Mortis god or something to all of us.
Oh my gosh. Can we get a fan film of like George Lucas as like the father or something? Like, he's like George Lucas just nonchalantly grabs a lightsaber blade and pushes it back in.
But I think the charm is that he's just so plain. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. And Absolutely. So he's just become he's like transcendent filmmaker, obviously. But even to the point where like, I don't know, like little kids know who George Lucas is.
See,
he's just one of those kind of guys.
Yeah. Jerry, why do you love George? Why do you get caught doing George voices at work, when you're not supposed to be?
Well, hold on. Let me first I gotta use my classic Hershey's bar to think here.
You got a Diet Coke with it? That's the only way you can do it.
I have a blueberry lemonade with gin.
Is that a George joke? I don't get that.
It's not. It's just what I had. I didn't get that. I switched the Diet Coke for something else, but
okay.
Well, this is a me thing, Sky. You didn't know this?
I thought it was a George thing.
I just eat Hershey bars. It's a thing. It's just a thing.
Hey, word. I like Hershey bars. Pretty good.
It's a very interesting revelation to me.
So, well, yeah, I wear Keds and flannel and just dad Levi's.
Oh my God.
Time.
Oh,
tucked in, of course.
So awesome.
But anyway, what is it that we love about George?
Yes.
He's a character. He's this. Look at the space saga that he created. And then like this man is a genius. He's good with story. He's good with like world building and things like that. And so he has our undying love for that. But then you look and he is the most like subdued person in the world for the guy who created the entire universe. He's just like, so the Jedi, they have these laser swords. I think we're gonna call them flashlight sabers, and they go fight these robots. So it's like seriously,
I know you're getting that.
And then like you put him with your shirt, McCollum, and it's like I want a sitcom with those two guys.
Okay, exactly. And in our episode earlier with Alex Damon, I mentioned the fact that like I have a feeling that George accidentally called McCallum Biggs because of how much he like Luke and George Lucas, obviously the same character, right? And I have a feeling that at some point, George had a guy named Biggs in his life, and at one point, in the future, he's working on the special editions, and he's like, Biggs, and he goes, oh, Rick. And it's like, wait, what? And you got to think. There's two things that go great together, and it's obviously Rick McCallum with his BDE energy, and we've got George with his probably LDE energy, but that's not what we're talking about. But hopefully no children are watching. To me, George is someone that should not be famous. Like he should be a librarian in Modesto still. He should be the guy that has a daily write-in for the local newspaper that complains about everything millennials do. That should be George Lucas.
No,
it should be.
What's funny is I don't think he's the boomer that like complains about millennials. He's like the cool boomer, but he's very boring. Imagine this. This is the guy who was really into drag racing when he was in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, like George effing Lucas.
Yeah.
Was like
He was a racer.
I really like. I have a need for speed, and I just can't. I can't be quenched.
Well, I think the other part of the fascination with him, though, is like, a lot of the times we like kind of idolize like idiots, like who are celebrities, and we think that's funny. But like George is actually really intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, you kind of get all the pieces of the pie with George. Like you get to have fun, you get to have humor. Yeah. Have you all seen that clip of him? I've seen it before, but it's like in circulation right now where he's like, I don't know if he's at a school or a graduation or what, but he's talking about the difference between joy and pleasure.
Yeah, I've
so heard it. It was so good. Oh, yeah. He just like talks for like maybe it could have been 5 minutes, could have been 15 minutes, but I was just like entranced by like everything he was saying because it was so smart. It just goes to show like, I don't know, somebody with that like kind of critical thinking skills for just something like so basic as happiness.
Yes.
Or not necessarily happiness, but like the way he like splits it up. Just, gives a lot of reasons why we love the series so much.
Oh,
like it's not just like fart jokes.
No,
like sometimes it is, but like it's not always.
Yeah.
He's a complete person. Yeah, and he is that. Like I joked earlier about like how it's this grand universe that he created, and then he's like very subdued. But I mean, you got to think that wisdom is there. Like you were saying, him that speech at that school, that is like straight up like George Lucas wisdom, and it's very true what he was saying about how it's not about happiness, it's about finding joy or like peace or whatever. Like I forget exactly the words and stuff, but it was just a very uplifting, very intelligent, wise message and stuff. So this is the man who he's the only person who could have created this Flash Gordon fan fiction that is now probably more popular than Flash Gordon.
Well, I mean, it's also important to note that not only did he change the film going experience, but he had a really big push for this. And I did not know this until I did my research for the video that I made, that he had a really big push for the film going, not the film going experience, like the actual sitting in the theater, how it was different. I mean, he made it very important that every theater should be on level with each other, so that whenever you would go to a movie, it would be the same experience, the experience the director intended of it. So he pushed digital filmmaking to the max. And, he set a lot of regulations in place in order to be able to show a picture. You do have to have all your surround sound systems working. You have to make sure everything's in sync. Digital projection's way easier for that. Regular film projection, yes, is an art form, but it's not as easy to convey and do this correctly, And George really made a very, very big point to have this experience be perfect and go really well for every time they showed one of his movies, one of his friends' movies. It's a really big thing. I don't know. I think that's what makes him stand out, is that he cares so much. And frankly, I saw it early in the chat. I really do think, and I think Eric had said it as well, he was probably the very first director I knew by name. And I think it was one part my love of Star Wars, and the other part is because, I don't know, I something about him as a person. Like, he was attached to so many things we loved. Indiana Jones, pretty much anything that Spielberg worked on, he was in some way involved. And same with Star Wars. He was just so huge. He was so important.
Did either of y'all, this is so off the cuff, but this is the Bombadcast. Have either one of y'all growing up watched those sing-along Disney videos from the parks? Do you know what I'm talking about?
My sister had the VHS.
I had some sing-along VHSs. We had like some Hanna-Barbera sing-alongs, but I don't think we ever had the Disney World, like actual people at Disney World.
Yeah, it was like they produce these. It's like kids and stuff, and like all the like dressed up characters like singing songs and stuff. But like, I don't know, they're singing like Zippity Doo Dah or something.
Yeah,
and like at one point they're in Star Tours. And
wow.
I definitely was watching this like all growing up. So it's kind of I don't know, like the point of this is bouncing off things you're saying, Scott. It's like things that we loved like growing up. So like I guess in my mind, Star Wars had always been a part of Disney World, which is like not the truth.
Yeah.
But being 90s babies, like that was just like part of our life.
Yeah.
And he was like changing. I mean, I'm sure Star Tours was like a huge technological achievement.
Yeah.
When it comes to rides. So I don't know. Like we owe so much to George, and we love him, and we miss him, and we want him back for something. But
that's important.
Yeah. But I don't know. After all that stuff we said, like he's just like so great to meme.
Yeah, he's
amazing. Just amazing.
He's so easy to do.
He's the most memeable, actually, and unfortunately for all sides of for the light side and the dark side.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we not to touch that too much or anything.
Sure.
This is a celebration. This is a celebration.
He did an awful lot for his own like self and his own franchises, and people still didn't give him the love he deserved. And like, I don't know if it's because it wasn't what people wanted at the time, but now looking back at it, he really didn't do anything wrong. Like I really don't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is fine. Like it's not great, but it's fine. I love watching it, and same with some of the prequels. I don't mind watching them, but I mean, my favorite Phantom Menace, but like when Eric bought me the poster, but with all that being said, you gotta think about George pretty much being the ultimate rebel and giving us not what we wanted, but what we needed. Because 20 years later, what anyone says that right. Anyway, 20 years later from to now, he's going to be right about something. It's going to be his vision is always 20 years in the future. The Phantom Menace, when it came out, had a good ride, but majority of what Lucas heard was nothing but complaints. 20 years later, the kids, everyone sitting in this chat right now, and people actually chatting in the thing, all love the prequels to death. Like I love them more than the OT. Just saying, I get more of them than the OT. So he has this vision that is not destined for the people experiencing it at the time. It has to be for the people in the future that'll look back at it. And I think GL is going to be regarded as one of the most important, as big as Steve Jobs, as big as anyone that's improved technology and everything. He's going to be the one that people like. He's going to be the Aristotle of this whole generation. Seriously, he just is. He's a visionary. He's a genius.
Absolutely. And I think like all those things that we've already talked about is conducive to the fact that George is a rebel.
Yeah, baby.
Everything he's ever like approached. Everything he's ever approached. He didn't like the Hollywood filmmaking system. He didn't like having other people tell him what he wanted to, what they wanted him to do in his films, pay for his films, how to shoot his films, what kind of characters to have. I mean, like he set the bar for like a lot of stuff, and like, I don't think this is like, an untalked about fact, but like, Leia was very important for characters in film. And Star Wars fans, we all know this. Like it's not like a secret to us. I think some people tend to forget, especially with the new wave of female-led movies and stuff like that. But like, George Lucas was already thinking that way.
Oh, way ahead. And Leia saved everyone's butts. I mean, truly. And that's a powerful character that you did not see in Hollywood back in the 70s. And the next character after that was Ripley from Alien. And it took Leia probably to get to Ripley. Let's be honest.
Right. Absolutely.
And, George always like had I don't give a F word attitude about everything. Like one of my favorite parts in the beginning, and Eric and I talk about it all the time, was when George was just literally, he was like, everything we're doing now, people are going to be doing in the future. So the budget doesn't matter. We have to get this done. And he goes, we're not relying on anyone for it. It's all being funded by me. And like, y'all, how bold is that he literally funded his own movies? He had Fox distribute it, but he truly paid for everything with his fortune. How amazing he is the biggest indie film director with the biggest budget. Those
are some economy size like truck nuts on that man. Like for real. Seriously, no. I'm just saying. because thinking about it, like he really is like he's so soft spoken, but he is like he doesn't take it from anybody.
Yes,
it's like, oh no, this is what I'm gonna do.
Exactly.
And, and I wish I could see that man in more than just like a monotone, like kind of a thing. Well, you got to see him kind of. Did you guys watch the Star Wars show this last week where they showed never before seen?
Stuff. Oh,
the
big talking about like that 30-minute one.
That's in the video.
Like when George Lucas comes out, it's the first one. It's like at the Celebration 3, he's coming out and like they're screaming, and he looks at that lady at the curtain and goes, "You're like free, like just joking with her and stuff."
Oh. Jerry has no idea, huh?
I really have no idea what's going in there.
Jerry, you're gonna die laughing.
How many other emotions of George Lucas do we want to see? I mean, come on.
Jerry, this video is gonna totally change your life.
You guys are killing me. But anyway, no. So good. So good.
So I want to go to the chat real quick because I forget this is true. Rural Farm Boy says George Lucas is the reason credits are at the end, not the start. That's one of the big things. He got kicked off the I think it was the Screen Guild. I don't know maybe it was the Academy Directors Guild for literally saying no, my movie's gonna have it at the end. And
he didn't want to do them like at the bottom, like
no.
As like the first couple of scenes are coming on.
Yeah. Exactly. Another thing was, I love this. Of course, we all agree this framing. Jar Jar paved the way to many, many digital characters we love today. Yes, he pushed that envelope like crazy. There's a whole segment in the beginning where he's like, "Nope, we got to do it. Nope, we got to do it. Nope, we got to."
It's all right. Like Jar Jar is a famous line or something.
Yes. It's just I don't know. I think it's really important to have to like bring into effect that he also developed Clone Wars, something that we all ended up falling in love with later. I really don't know that many Clone Wars fans that were Clone Wars fans from the beginning. Like most people came in a couple seasons later and were like, "Oh, I know what they're doing now. I understand it now."
Didn't Filoni kind of talk to George? Like a lot of the weirder concept episodes, like Mortis, were George's idea too.
Yeah,
like that. Like,
oh yeah.
And he taught that's why Filoni now does he takes chances and shots with the Force, worlds and things like that. Because George taught him it doesn't matter what people say. It's not a video game. Press XXB up, down, left, right, and then you can do a Force push. It's more magical and mystical, and I just love that. I don't know. I love what George did with the Clone Wars, proving to people who said that he took the magic away from the Force that it was still mysterious.
One of the interviews we watched, there was a line where he's talking like, "I hope they don't what do you want them to do with your movies, George?" He goes, "Well, I hope the Force doesn't get muddled into a bunch of gobbledygook." And it's like that's one of the lines that's definitely in the video. It's just gobbledygook. It's just this thing with George is so important because he does the first edit droid, right? That is the droid. That was the computer, the software that allowed people to edit on a computer instead of editing, literally by cutting film. And something we often think about too is like there's one scene in the beginning where Ben, Bert, and George are sitting there editing that scene inside the Naboo starship, and literally they're like, well, George likes the scene from this and the scene moment from this, so we're gonna splice it down the middle, layer it on top of each other, and see what we can do. And it's so weird to think that George, and if you watch any interview with him, he loves the post-production edit way more than filming, way more, because the filming is the act of getting it done, whereas the actual editing portion is the part he really digs, the things that he really loves, and that's very obvious in most of the documentaries with George Lucas.
Absolutely, yeah. George is a big fan. I don't know if you ever noticed the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes of every George Lucas movie are like really, really, really good.
Always.
That was like a philosophy he had. He's like, the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes need to be I don't remember what word he used when I took 70s film in college. There's a whole thing we read about. He popped up in that book a lot, obviously. But this is also, bouncing off what Jerry just said like a couple of seconds ago. Like, this is kind of an obvious, but it's one of those things you just like don't think about. Like, we have to thank George Lucas for Dave Filoni and the direction that Star Wars will be taking probably from this point on. You know, we have George to thank for that. Mm-hmm. Not that Dave wouldn't have maybe been able to like get there by himself, but the fact that George, like, you know, picked him and
as a successor. Oh,
right.
He's 100% there. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. It's if he ends up getting into the place where we all want him to be, where he kind of has his hands in like all the what's the phrase I'm looking for? I don't know. In all the buckets, maybe. I don't know. You know, I think our Star Wars is gonna end up being way more George Lucasy than it has been in a while. So
you know, and that's a good point, because I love the sequel trilogy and I love everything it's done. I love Solo and Rogue One. They all had the George Lucas taste, but like, I don't know. There's something about like maybe experiencing something kind of uncomfortable that George Lucas does, you know, like there's some scenes in the Phantom Menace, not that it's a bad uncomfortable. It's like kind of a thing you have to experience when you're going through and watching a movie for the first time. And it's good that it hits you every time, that it's something that's very different for you. And George always found a really good way to do that. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fact that he is such a, I don't know, genius filmmaker, or if he's just such a, he has studied so much story and what it means to tell a good story. And I think that's, I don't know, that's why I really enjoy everything about his whole aura, like his outfits, his demeanor. It's like Jerry, you're right. It shouldn't be this way. George should be like Steve Jobs, like, hi everyone, I'm Steve Jobs. And George is just like, I want a Diet Coke and take me on a fishing excursion. Like George would, you know what's
wearing
funny?
That hat that Luke wears in the Biggs deleted scene or something.
Wait, you'll love this. Eric and I learned from watching every Charlie Rose and George Lucas interview, and yes, there's probably about 7 or 8 of them things. Bet you didn't know that. This is so funny. Charlie Rose and George Lucas every year go to the F1 races in France. That is something they do together. And the idea of George, like, oh yeah, whoa, that was fast. Like, just picturing George like being at the best box in the whole entire arena to watch F1 races with literally Charlie Rose is the funniest thing to me. And they've been doing it for years. Just like, oh wow, look at that. Whoa, that was fast.
Oh, well, they're fast.
Charlie, did you see how fast that went? Yeah, look.
Oh, Charlie, did you see that turn?
And in his mind, he's going, do.
He's like,
in his mind, he's going, I'm putting everything on Sebulba.
I mean,
speaking of,
yeah.
I want to bring it up. We got to watch it. So, this is
how are you going to do it?
I'm going to share the screen. So, this is what's crazy.
We match love.
Listen, Eric. Everyone in our network makes such good content, and I don't know why. They'll throw in a clip from anything, and it'll get flagged instantly. No, listen. No, what I'm saying, I don't know why they constantly get flagged for like even using a snippet of a song. I uploaded this, no copyright issues, and it's nothing but interviews I've stolen from the internet. Now, I don't know how that's even possible.
Daddy, don't say it out loud. No.
No, it won't make a difference. I don't know why, but I think it's because YouTube analyzes the whole thing instead of snippets of things, and it could not depict what was not copyrighted and what wasn't. So
it's like cannot detect actual conversation. It just sounds like a bunch of
just wait. So for anyone who's fixing to watch this, and I'm going to be honest with you, this could blow up because of just because of how it is. I can't wait for you to enjoy it, and I want to see the comments light up on this one. It is a special video to me. I think it's really, really funny. And Eric had helped me with like segmenting certain things and finding the clips. So Eric, thank you. And Jerry, I genuinely cannot see your reaction. Okay, I'm so excited. So I'm gonna get this thing shared, and then we will definitely start this viewing session. Okay,
let's do it.
Are we muting or no?
I think it would be okay. I want to hear Jerry laugh, to be honest with you. So no, I don't think we would have to mute. So
now I feel pressured to laugh. I'm not some 1980s sitcom laugh track, Scotty.
Jerry, you're gonna so we're actually gonna show our faces watching it. So everyone in the chat, I cannot wait to see your comments light up. This is something I'm very, very proud of. And also my BTBD fam who are watching right now that have not seen this as well. Good luck. Okay, here we go. Let's get this thing rolling. Let me make sure. Actually, let me go back. I don't think I shared the audio. I didn't want anything bad to happen. Let me try this again.
Oh,
yeah, no, we didn't want to make that a mistake. Here we go. Share audio. All right, world premiere of Why We Love George Lucas. You're looking at a viral video in the making. Here we go.
What if someone else beside you came to you and said, I want to make episode 7? Could you see that happening?
No.
No, absolutely, positively. You're really closing the door without any wiggle room whatsoever.
Right. There is no episode 7. There is no episode 7. There is no episode 7. There is no.
Fans can expect a new feature film, Star Wars Episode 7, in theaters worldwide in 2015.
Nice cardigan. Whoa! There's a new Star Wars? The way he holds.
Lord Vader.
Oh, come on.
Fine.
What does all of this mean? Here we are 30 years later and Star Wars is here.
Hey, it just can't be killed.
Oh.
Wait, you're not going to be my movie, are you? You're not going to. Jurassic is number 1. Remember that.
Should I?
The job is we have to crush you like a bug.
And I said, we're going to have to divorce Frank first. Thank you, Bob. I'll first say you did a great job.
Thank you very much. Coming from you, that means a lot.
Well, it could have gone very bad.
What advice do you have for Kathy?
Good luck. I don't really care about you.
I think I've done a good job.
Your first film.
Well, nobody else did.
Well. Working on my own films.
George, when are you going to go back to experimental film? Make my own little personal movie. More experimental kind of film. An experimental film is an experimental film and have fun.
I will be directing movies, but not movies generally that will be shown anywhere.
They'll never be seen by anybody. I'm just going to waste it making movies that'll never make any money, which may never even be released.
They're just films for myself and my friends.
Get everybody
Three
mad.
of us are here because we know what a great feeling it is to win an Academy Award for directing.
Yeah, it was the greatest honor that I've ever received. No dangleweed here.
Hey, guys, I never won an Academy Award.
So why are you here?
Oh! I don't know. I got nominated a couple of times.
Well, anyway, the two of us know what a great honor it will be for one of the 5 nominees.
Well, I just want to say Goongas.
Spread out.
Coiffed hair.
You know, these droids, they can't get the physiology right. There we go. And the Oscar goes to
Jar Jar Binks.
This is a first campaign in our effort to rule the universe.
And I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, sir.
No way. No way.
You brought it on yourself.
I don't want you here.
I'm sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Out.
Dad, I got your voucher.
Well, I would say
Shake.
A lot of my friends have yachts.
It wasn't for the women. I was working. I'm not even human. It worked out. I started working out really for most. No, I got divorced, so I said I got to get in shape. You know,
garbly goop. There may be some ghetto in this one.
many of the women are afraid of me, so they sort of hover, but they never come close.
I'm not sure, but I have a feeling I'm just going to lay there dead.
I mean, I got drunk a few times, threw up, and said, "This is stupid. I'm not going to do this."
Yoda, come to the hood.
Yeah, we get to go to a lot of different planets in the next one. So
I'm about as musical as a dead frog.
I work out. You know, I treadmill and I stairs and weights and the whole deal. The whole deal. It doesn't work.
Okay.
But
Mr. John Lucas.
He said when George Lucas was one of those sort of satirical porno films.
Yeah.
It's disgraceful.
I wish. A regular person's going to go nuts.
you know, silly kind of love. It's fun.
So,
In a way, he's the old model, replaced by Star Wars being the new stormtrooper.
Yeah. And then mostly I sit there looking miserable and quiet.
Great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
Well, it's like a big family.
Gentlemen,
So I can look and I can smile.
Sounds very alive. It's real.
And I can get them to come over, and I don't have to have a pickup line.
And action.
So that
I'm
I
a
can
bachelor
date.
now. I'm a bachelor now. I got a date. So, and I've just done it ever since. And, you know, I get encouragement from my doctor, and I get encouragement from.
So what do you do?
I mean,
It's the same.
somebody told me you already have 5 episodes already done already.
Well, and I think that you'll change your life.
Again, that's a long time. Although I'm going back to my elementary school 50th reunion.
You're kidding.
Yeah, next weekend. That'll be exciting. Maybe she'll be there.
Elementary.
I'm hot,
I can imagine.
but
I'm hot too.
I'm cool. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I could say the same. What could that be?
May the force be with you.
Sir left Lucas at his Skywalker Ranch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So now you put her in S&M clothes. You have some weird, creepy little S&M thing going on, George.
Buy a yacht, George. Buy a build one. It's gonna be great. You gotta do it. I said, this thing is amazing. I basically buy what I love.
You know, with Yoda, was he behind something?
In this one?
Yeah.
No. Those of you who are here are the fans of episode 1, and I love each and every one of you.
Hooray! George Lucas, and I believe
This is the best one.
Lucas can hear us right now. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Terry Gannon with you, Chandra Wilson, and Ricardo Chavira from Desperate Housewives. 30-year anniversary. It's a nice way to spend it here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Happy New Year.
That's the interview from a car.
What is next for you, sir?
That sleeve looks
Right
stuffed.
now we're working on an animated TV series
So
of Star Wars, and then working on Indiana Jones, and then working on a show about the Tuskegee Airmen.
That's right. We've got another Indiana Jones, right?
So good to know about it.
All of that. You've got the clock off. So good luck with that.
Yeah, well, we're still working on Indiana Jones, but hopefully we'll get it going.
Great.
What?
Thanks for being with us here.
Okay.
The guy in
Oh, we got the Ghost Coach coming up.
You seem happy.
I am very happy.
Just wait, Jerry. It ain't over. It ain't over, dog.
That boy is our last hope.
Here we go.
No, there is another.
I'll start with me. I'm Rick. I'm the producer.
Hi, Rick.
Let's kick ass.
Hey, Rick!
Dude, I'm so fucking happy.
You know, it's great. It's absolutely great.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. It was fantastic.
Natalie is fantastic.
It's going to be fantastic. I mean, it's going to be
Absolutely fantastic, and it's awesome. I'm enjoying absolutely awesome.
I'm so happy. George is so happy. It's just fantastic. This is grim. This is seriously grim.
This is fucking grim. These are his engines, which play the most crucial part in the movie. The engines, look at that. And his engines are completely
The pods are really badly not done. I had we have a charter plane and we are leaving a charter plane in Prague. This is awesome.
All right. Here we go.
Rick, oh my God. You now have your ears up.
Everybody always remembers the first time they've ever made love and who that person was.
What is that all about?
Oh my God. Oh.
Bravo.
Jeez.
Bravo.
Boys, what did you think of that?
That. Wow. Good job. I mean, that was a lot. Like watching him do an interview in a Letterman jacket in a Rose Parade from an old timey like Model T car. Like, oh yeah, it's going great. Yeah, we're doing a cartoon show. Yeah.
There's so much
He didn't
to
even sound
unpack
like he's moving. It's like he had an Industrial Light and Magic or like Ben Burt like pre-record his lines and like sync it up with his mouth or something. Like
it's that whole thing is.
Am I the only one who thinks that his sleeve looked like it was stuffed with tissue or something? Does Letterman jacket?
I never noticed that.
Letterman jacket. It was amazing.
Jesus.
Oh.
Eric, what'd you want to say?
I'm just saying, like that interview in particular, it's like still on Star Wars' YouTube page.
Yeah.
And it's actually like a 14-minute like vlog almost.
Yeah.
Of
weird.
The whole day. And like I don't know, it's just so indicative of George Lucas. The Lucasfilm cameras are like better quality than the TV cameras. Yeah. So like you cut to that close up of George and it's like 720 at least. Like it's like 2007. But then you like you cut to the wide on TV and you're like in 480 or whatever. I don't know. It's amazing.
Oh man.
You're welcome.
That's
Gannon.
good, Pat. Nice.
Pat.
That's incredible. Oh my God. I'm so glad people enjoyed it. That was something that I really wanted to do. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It's like,
that needs to be a shirt. That needs to be a shirt.
That's like me and Scott will not leave from a hangout without saying it like 5 times.
Oh yeah.
That's absolutely
that
fantastic.
definition that you had at the beginning, apparently our definition.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a shirt. I'm telling you right now.
Dude.
That needs to be.
Eric actually wrote the definition to that. That was one big contribution he made because I couldn't think of a definition. Eric look, I can actually get it pulled up real quick.
Hey,
we can read it back to the audience.
That is a shirt right there, frankly.
But how
guys
true
in the chat,
is it?
Would you buy that? That is amazing Georgism.
Let me get it pulled up again. And there's so many parts to this video that whenever I was making it, it made me laugh out loud. And I think it's one of the most important parts when making any content, that it's funny, that it has to make the creator like giggle. And every time, like the absolutely fantastic part with Rick McCallum, every time I had it, I was laughing so hard because it was just like fantastic, absolutely fantastic. He says that literally every interview. He at least says something, absolutely something. It could be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's so freaking funny. Be on the lookout for that. But Georgism, okay. So definition number 1: the ability to be self-aware.
Noun. It's a noun.
It's a noun. You're right. It is a noun. Amidst your own fictional empire. Okay, which is true. It's so true. So true. Now, the second definition, Eric, this is purely Eric. Worshipped by fanboys, even if you don't care. And that is that is so true.
The best part.
Because look, this, and you know what's weird? This whole video is in tribute to this concept. And it wasn't even something I was aware of when making the video. Okay. Wasn't even aware of it. But I literally made a video about the worshiping of George Lucas, right? We worship this dude. because he's so funny and goofy. But it's so weird how in turn this video became this definition, and I didn't even try to. I wanted to identify with that first definition, but the second definition is actually what it ended up being, like truly to its core. It's so weird how Eric, like, to me, I think he found that theme so quickly. It's really impressive. It's really impressive.
But it's funny that we have this, like, and again, like we were saying earlier, that's not the only reason we worship him. It's also that there is that like innate genius, right? That like wisdom, that like stuff hidden under just a shroud of thriving mediocrity. Like, and I mean that in the best way. Like, I know. I love the man, but it is just like he's like, you don't meet a person like George Lucas. Like, he's like once in a lifetime, man. He's like a bolt of lightning.
He is
just sharp as a whip, but like cool as a cucumber, because I can't think of any other things to say. Like,
okay,
like him. Can I say the most underrated shot was the shot of all those people and then him in the back leaning up against the wall in the sun in the aviators.
We have been sitting
like
screenshots.
Your drunk uncle at a family reunion.
Look, I'll pull it up. For anyone that missed the shot. One thing, Eric, I want to pass to you real quick. What was your favorite segment of the whole video? Because I think if you broke this video down, and it's definitely into segments of like 5 or 6. But what was your favorite segment?
I think when you kind of hard cut all those moments of George laughing.
Yeah.
If I literally have one moment that's my favorite, it's that one clip of George being like, "Oh!" Like, have you ever heard George make that noise?
It's so human.
And the fact that he's
so
just like
weird.
a human being that we're just like laughing, like, and like that was an interview for Phantom Menace. Like, I don't know if it was BBC, but it was definitely a British channel.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, like, they were showing him some sort of display, and I think they made some sort of joke, and that was just like his response. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard George make any sort of like noise above a certain decibel level.
Yes,
he's just like.
So wait, we'll watch a clip of it.
Jar Jar Binks.
So the clips this all came from, Eric identified the fact that one came from a British TV show. This one's obviously from the beginning.
Right, there we go.
I thought you would like this moment. All right. So this next clip coming up is actually from Beverly Hills Cop 3. He was a cameo in this movie, and he goes, "Hey," he's waiting in line for an amusement park ride, and Eddie Murphy cuts him off. Okay, dead serious. This is an actual clip from that movie. So everything found in this video was all found generally through YouTube, and the effort I went through finding it was kind of interesting. I had to literally search George Lucas and just type in any word after it. Whatever word you think of, I would type of George Lucas farts, and I would find a video that I've never seen before. This was one of them. I typed in George Lucas cameo, and this was like the second thing to come up.
A future episode of Let's Find George doing things.
Oh, dude, I typed in some vulgar and some messed up stuff to find this footage. I did, because there's no other way to find it. There's no other way to find it, and especially this one, this shot of George hanging Seth Green. Do you know how hard it was to find this? You realize how difficult it was to find this shot? This is not an easy shot to find. Half of these were Eric and I sitting together. Like, literally, Katie would have gone to bed. Eric and I would be up till about 3 or 4 in the morning, just like going through interviews and like finding the best moments.
George Lucas footage.
Oh man. Jerry, do you have a favorite spot in this video? Is there anything in particular that stands out to you?
Oh man, that like there was a couple of things he said that I've never really heard him say before, but there was also just like the part with him in the aviators was great.
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh man.
This is one of my favorite shots where he flips the coin at the Rose Bowl game and he goes, "Ha." So fun.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
Well, it's like a big family.
Watch right here.
Gentlemen,
I can look and I can smile.
that's very
I don't know. And the way it's cut is supposed to be funny, but like this, I knew you'd get a kick out of this instant cut.
And here
This
we
like
are
smash
30
cut.
years later, and Star Wars, it's here.
Hey, it just can't be killed.
I love that. Hey, it just can't be killed.
But it perfectly sums up this definition.
Please kill me. Like, but not in
It's
the best
amazing.
way. Yeah, because like we love the sequels and stuff, and I don't think he's as like harshly against it as people think he is. But
No,
it's
I don't think so
like,
either.
That is so George. He's so dark humor and stuff. You got to highlight Rick's comment here. I'm sorry. He said that George Lucas is the Wendy's comment there. You got to bring that up. He's the Wendy's chili of the entertainment world, and there is
I like that.
more accurate that I think I've ever heard in my life. That is absolutely 100% accurate.
Oh, good.
Rick, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Oh man, I hope everyone had the chance to enjoy this. And yes, the second I'm signing off and Pete goes on with ATG, I'm gonna make this unlisted and I'm gonna make sure I send it to all the right people. And you need to send it to all the right people too. And speaking of, if you haven't yet, please take some time and donate to it's tiny.cc/Podathon. I don't know where we're at in our goal. I can get some research done real quick and I'll look to see where we're at in our goal, and
guys,
I'll keep everyone updated. Let's see.
Go, you look, Scotty. Go ahead. Like seriously, you guys are blowing us away right now with all this. This is just amazing, and thank you so much for coming on here and, for one thing, listening to us babble about the weird little quirks of George Lucas that we love and stuff. Like Eric, how many hours of George Lucas footage do you think you've watched over the last couple of weeks?
Okay, I was about to say. In the last couple of weeks, probably like I don't know, like seriously, probably like 3 hours worth of footage.
That's still impressive. That's still impressive.
The sad part is a lot of it like I've watched before.
Yes, that's true.
When Scott and I found that Rose Bowl highlight, we showed it to all of our friends. Like, showings.
I can't believe you guys hadn't sent that to me yet, but I'm so glad that you didn't.
There was some things we had talked about months back that we needed to make a supercut video because like. Well, there was one night where we watched that clip and we watched the whole, and I don't know, Eric, there really is something wrong with us. They're really truly to our core because him and I watched, and I'm not kidding, all of the Force Awakens premiere video on Star Wars YouTube, and then we proceeded to watch TLJ's as well in the same night.
Nice.
So we sat there for 4 hours and watched all of the premiere videos that were
more than 3 hours in, but George Lucas isn't in that the whole time. But
no, but it's still.
I count it towards your tally, though.
Yeah.
But some of the things we found were interesting and will be used for future things because a lot of the comments that were made were either not fulfilled or definitely fulfilled, which is really kind of interesting. Like Harrison's. I will say this before we send this off. Harrison's interview at Celebration was really interesting because he said something along the lines of like, well, I wouldn't say Han Solo's dead. He said that exactly. And I'm like, did he know?
He quoted Monty Python.
Yes.
He's like, I'm not dead. I'm just asleep or whatever.
Yes. And I'm like, So everyone watching, I'm glad you enjoyed the video. I'm so glad we can have my good friend Eric Cotterman on to share his art.
My good friend Eric Cotterman.
Okay, our good friend. I will say this:
you will pull like a Biggs and a Luke. I say, you're my best friend. Goodbye, Luke.
Look, Eric, it was a blast having you on, man. Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to shout out real quick before we end our little time together, buddy?
Oh yeah, the Bombadcast is on Saturdays on the Beyond the Blast Doors network, and I'm there like I don't know, 1/16 of the time. So
I don't know, 1/4 more like it.
So yeah, watch that. That's
fantastic.
The only place you can find me.
Eric, give us one last thing. I think it's the common phrase known in the Bombadcast. What should the wonderful people at home do tonight? Okay.
Stay bombad.
Yeah! Fantastic. Look.
And you'll catch us at Celebration. We're all 30.
Jerry's already 30.
I'll be halfway to 40.
Jerry will be
I forgot we're probably the young guys in this. I forgot about that.
Yeah, maybe. Look, Eric, I'll talk to you soon, buddy. See you later.
All right, man. All right.
All right, bye, dude.
Peace, man.
Absolutely fantastic.